When Opportunity Zone program was launched, there was a coalition of civic leaders that came together from entrepreneurial to real estate and civic organizations, Hoffman Foundation, AltCap. We needed to work together to try and get Kansas City on the radar nationally. And they formed a group called We Grow KC.
And what we're working on is a pilot program, basically a one-stop shop, taking all the projects and information from the residents, providing that to an investor and say, here's what they want on this corner. Can you help us with financing? The summit that we had last June was amazing to bring people that likely would not have gotten to the table at all. It was great to see national investors. It was great to see local businesses and entrepreneurs able to pitch their ideas to investors.
That's important because if I'm an investor, I want to know, one, who's investing with me? Who has a track record that my money is not going to get lost? What's their connection to the neighborhoods, especially given that Kansas City's opportunity zones, for the most part, are urban core driven?
The summit helped last summer in two ways. One, it brought an awareness about what the opportunity zones were trying to do across the nation and what we were trying to do in Kansas City to get some benefit out of that tool.
Business owners and entrepreneurs in Kansas City are hungry to reach out to investors. They just don't know how. And we provided that vehicle so that they can have that opportunity.
My organization has been around since 1991. We are the master developers of what amounts to about $230, $240 million worth of development over the last 25 years. From the single family housing production to the 80,000 square foot Class A office building. I think that'd be, something that an Opportunity Zone fund might want to take a look at. Nothing. It's just interesting that we have not been able to capitalize on Opportunity Zone funding.
As a whole and as a region, I think we're definitely lagging behind other high growth areas across the country in investor adoption of this program and putting then real capital into real deals that are showing tangible results for the area.
I'm actually very skeptical of opportunity zones as a tool. There will be a set number of zones where it's easy to make money, and where it's easy to make money, that's where money flows. They're competing against 8,700 other spots. It's an investor-friendly program. That's challenging. You have to make a determination as a community. What is it that you really want to see?
In an uncertain environment where you don't have all of the regulation figured out and all of it put together, of course the market is going to select the sort of quote unquote easiest tracks to develop in first, right? Those areas that, have the highest growth potential and the highest economic advantage. Martin City, Shawnee, the Turner Diagonal.
In the more challenging zip codes, whether that's rural or urban that's more concentrated like we have in Kansas City, different approaches have to happen. And where my skepticism does come in is absent those more cohesive collaborations with a state, with a community, with a city, with a county, it's going to be really difficult to pull together a kind of economic development plan that would be attractive to investors.
Troost Avenue is now the hot area, which is fantastic. But again, let's look at what that took. That took a significant investment by the city of Kansas City, Missouri to do all the infrastructure. It's now been primed to have an investment. But what we're talking about is outside of that 2 or 3 block radius on either side of Troost. What we're talking about is there still is a tremendous lack of investment, whether it's infrastructure investment, whether it's banks coming to the table. There is still a perception of where I call my base of operation, that there can't be a return on investment. And that is correct. We can't give a 17 or 18% return on investment, a cash on cash return. But, we can give a 6 or 7% return on investment. The idea when this was started was it's a place for folks to put their capital gains. And if they leave it in for 10 years, then they get to keep all of those capital gains. Now that has been put also with the other requirements of, I want a return. in many cases, a return that's better than the stock market has done over the last, 24 months. The numbers just don't work. But it's going to take opportunity zones, banks, developers, and a crazy thing called developers using some of their own capital, which is something that we do, to make this stuff happen. Clearly, it has not been the shining star that we all thought the opportunity zone would be.
As a process here in Kansas City, I'm very encouraged because it's brought people to the table to think creatively about how do we pull all of the pieces together differently so that we can get something done.
We've been focusing on those social impact investors that want to make a difference and not want to get a huge gain out of the opportunity zone.
And they're not going to be hot capital. They're not going to look for a quick buck and be able to flip and move out of the deal in 1 year, 2 years, or 3 years. What you're doing is setting up a good basis to go into these neighborhoods and stay in these neighborhoods for a long period of time. These neighborhoods were distressed for a reason. They really need more capital put into them, not less, and it needs to be there for a long period of time to make the change.
We're trying to focus on how do you build the wealth of the resident that's living there, and how do you put all the tools together to make that happen. Opportunity zones is just one of those tools.
One of the most promising things about opportunity zones is that we're talking about impact with our investments. So conversations that otherwise wouldn't be happening with the investment community are happening. And that has a much bigger picture impact for our community.